Great day, great night, wherever you're watching this from. Really quick, men, one of the things I've been hearing from a lot of women that have come into my DMs, I've worked with as far as clients, they have been saying that, and I don't know if you all realize this, and a lot of men might not believe this or not, but when they're in love and they are in a committed relationship, it's growing, it's going to certain places or whatever, they cannot be intimate with anybody else and still be in love with you. And I know that's a little extreme, but it's just the way some women are made up. I'm not saying all women are made up that way. Some women are made up that way. They cannot give themselves away because they're emotionally invested in somebody else, that they refuse to allow anybody else, or it's to a certain place to where if they are physical with anybody else, they can no longer be in love with that person. It actually breaks the chain. Now, I know a lot of men are saying that's not true. That's not true at all, because of what took place with me and my wife and my girl. When I found out that she was doing what she was doing, she claimed she still loved me. She claimed, everything. And when I found out, it just crushed me. And that might be true, but I'm just telling you all what I have heard, and just from the experiences when it comes to women, I really find that to be really true. Now, where am I really going with this? I am talking about understanding the bond that you all have, understanding that whenever a bond is there between you and somebody else, it is stronger than just the physical aspect of things, to where they will not even give themselves away to just anybody, regardless of the temptation, regardless of the lust, regardless of the things that people endure when it comes to growing in relationships. So what normally takes place is that you will have a lot of men that will not understand that this is the makeup of a woman. Men and women are completely different. For a lot of men, not all men, notice I said not all men, for a lot of men, they can be physical with anybody without any attachments to it, but it's really hard for a woman to do this. And a lot of things is much more psychological that it comes to the emotional side of a woman, because anytime she attaches herself to somebody, it puts her at a place to where she is connected to them. And of course, a lot of people know about soul ties and the things that take place within that. I've heard women that have said that I can be intimate with somebody and not be attached at all. I've heard some women say that, but truth be told, it is still impossible to put yourself in a physical position and not there be any kind of attachment. It's impossible for that. You might try to block it out within your thoughts. You might try to block it out even within your feelings. But this is the reason why it is important to make sure that you cannot connect yourself to anyone. So with this bonding, it's very crucial and it's very important to understand that people will sooner or later find out what you are connected to. There are traits, there are just things that take place within our hormones and within our body and everything else that allows us to react. There's a chemical reaction, there's a hormone releasing. And I'm not trying to be all philosophical and go into science details as far as the bonding and everything else that takes place between male and female. I'm just trying to give you all the generalized understanding of what really happens. So as this takes place, the woman, she attaches to the male. And her attachment is much more deeper than just the physical side. It is much more spiritual. It's a little bit more intimacy that takes place. And this is why you hear your parents always talk about, wait till you get married before you're intimate, and wait till you get married before you experience some things, because what happens is that with all these different attachments that you've had throughout the years, these soul ties, they're not easy to break. And some people will never understand that because they continue to give themselves away to any and everybody, thinking that this is going to be the way that you win their hearts over, just based off of you giving your body away. And it's never going to happen that way. It's going to be a little bit more deeper than just the physical aspect for somebody to actually love you the way that you want to be loved, and for them to even be a part of your life and say, hey, we're exclusive, past that relationship, past that marriage. No, that's what everybody desires, but we'll talk about that later. But this is just how a woman thinks. This is just where she's at. She will not just give herself away to anybody. Now, you do have those, and I ain't gonna lie, that are very foolish, conniving. They will allow themselves to open up to any and everybody, but yet still return home to you as a man and say that I still love you, I still want you, and I want to grow in this marriage and grow in this relationship. And it confuses men, because men are like, okay, how is it that you can want me, but you want everybody else at the same exact time? And men, what is going on is that what we fail to realize is that there is an emotional connection, an emotional bond that she shares with you that she doesn't share with everybody else. Now, for the women that are giving their bodies away and giving themselves away, they're doing that and they're trying to feed that emotional side that's never going to be fed, because not only is she committed to one person, or she's trying to get over one person, it is that emotional bond that she has with the previous man, or the same man that she's still in love with, that she's trying to get over. And it never happens. So we just have to make sure that each one of us are protecting our hearts. And I know that right there is a little bit more easier said than done, because the way people are operating in 2020, it's not like it was years ago, to where people were a little bit more considerate of feelings and things were different. Today, it's a little bit more intensified as far as relationships and marriages, and as far as what people's intentions are and the things that they're doing. People don't care about your heart no more. It's really all about them when it's all said and done. And people will always have a reason for why they do what they do, but they never want to heal. They never want to, be an individual that actually, take ownership for their actions. They don't want to do that kind of stuff, because anything that puts them in a compromising position that makes them stop and think and say, you know what, I got to work on myself, instead of trying to find myself in everybody else that I'm trying to attach to, does nothing more than make them responsible. And that's exactly what it should be, but it doesn't happen that way, you all. So I hope this was a blessing to you all, because I came from a different perspective and a different way of looking at things when it comes to the whole emotional side, physical side, as we're dealing with women and as we're dealing with men, and what I'm hearing from women as they go through the ups and downs. Now, I'm talking about a mature woman. I'm not saying that all women are like this, men. I'm not saying that. But one thing I am saying is that there are some women out there, just as well as men, that are mature, and they're not giving themselves away to everybody, because they understand that this emotional connection is a spiritual tie that is stronger than just the physical aspect of things. And it intensifies. And also, you will never be able to be faithful and committed and settle down a relationship if you're dealing with multiple people. If you're entertaining all these different people, you will never really be able to give your heart away to one person, no matter how much you love them, no matter how much you care for them, because what happens is that your heart is never pure, and you have never disciplined yourself to really be open and honest with what your intentions are, who you are as a man or a woman. And even though you can get involved with someone and love them, the faithfulness side is hard to do, because you have these bad habits that have yet to be broken, that will do nothing more than play a major part into what is happening in your current relationship. And eventually it's going to fold. Eventually you're going to have issues in your current relationship, and they're going to wonder what it is. They're going to think that it's something wrong with them. And as they step back and do an investigation, no, it's nothing wrong with me. It's something wrong with them. And as you continue to look, You're going to look and you see some emotional issues, some damage issues, but yet still, they cannot be committed because their hearts have been tainted with different people playing around with them. And now the faithful side and then wanting to be faithful is impossible because of where they've been and what they've done. So I ain't gonna continue to go on, but I want you all to think about that. Last but not least, always remember there's a moment in your life, God is bigger than this moment. And that's the reason why we gotta continue to press. Have a blessed and wonderful day.